This is where the fun begins.
Clear eyes, full hearts, get loose.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
And here we go.
I like that it's not like screaming at us anymore. I think I say that like every time, but it's like that first time you went to record, I was so startled.
I was like, they didn't update me on that. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything like that was taking place.
All right. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I just fresh off meditating and, getting
it's
recentered.
Been one of those mornings. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like it's raining in LA for the first time in like this year. No, it rained a few weeks ago, but it's raining today, so I woke up with a nice little pressure headache, so that's super duper. Yeah. But it's okay. I took some medicine. I am feeling a little bit better now, which is good, because goodness gracious, my head was pounding, which is weird. I was telling you earlier, it's like I've never had an issue with this before, because I lived in Florida, but I think it's because it rained so much in Florida that those pressure changes, like I was so acclimated to them.
Yeah.
Here it rains like a couple times a year, so it's like I'm never around rain anymore, which I miss because I love this weather. It's like my favorite weather.
I can't imagine not having rain.
It's my favorite. Honestly. I love this. Like, it's cloudy, it's chilly.
Shoot, and when it's cloudy, that's the best time for a photographer.
I know. It's got like the best like light diffusion. Like, it's so nice. Yeah. Like, it's my favorite. I love it. But recently I've been getting those like pressure headaches, and it's like annoying. It's like behind my eyes almost.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's okay. So yeah, I mean this week's been all right. Nothing fancy's happened. Like I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I kind of lost my job, so I've been kind of just taking a lot of time and focusing on me. It's been so nice.
Yeah.
I'm like super grateful to be like in a place where like I can work part-time at like one of my jobs and like lose my full-time job and like still be like okay.
Yeah.
I'm still stressed as shit.
Yeah.
But hey guys, if you're listening, rate and review so that we can get more like sponsorship opportunities, so I can just quit all my jobs and I don't have to be stressed at all anymore. That'd be great. Thanks. So today we're just gonna go over like a couple articles. I don't think these aren't huge discussions. Just a couple quick little things that have happened this week that I wanted to just bring up, and then we are going to talk about our like favorite horror movies, like our top horror movies. Yeah. I know we said like 5, but I have like more than that, and
I'm pretty sure you do.
Divulge into like the subcategories that they are.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that after we talk about the movie, or do you want to do that before?
Let's do it before.
Okay.
Just go into the movie, and then that'd be
that
good.
works. That works.
Yeah.
And then we'll be good to go. We're on a little bit of a time crunch today.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Today's stuff isn't as like in depth as previous, but I do want to probably next week talk about kind of go back to the sorry, hiccups. The Chappelle stuff, because there's been even more like updates on it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there have been. Yeah.
Which I do want to talk about, but just because we're on a little bit of a time crunch today, I know that we're not really gonna have time. Yeah. Because I know that like we'll get into that, but I did find a couple things that I do want to talk about. So let's chat about that super quick, and then we can because I still haven't watched the special.
Oh, you've got to watch it.
I know.
You've got to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I've just been seeing a lot of like articles coming out. Mm-hmm. But a few things that like do make sense, because I know that like we talked about it before about how it's how his comedy is, and it's the storytelling of it. But this is one of these things. This is a tweet. It's hopefully originally from this person. I don't know if it is, but it's from Lily Simpson on Twitter. and they say it's fucking 2021. We should all be aware by now that jokes, air quote jokes, play an integral part in the spreading of bigotry, and that comedy is not immunity from criticism. And I think that that really sets like a really good tone for what everything is, because it's like there was a lot of things in the past that were in comedy to that really like this says like plays that integral part of spreading bigotry, bigotry, racism, those kinds of things, because it all starts as jokes and then it develops into these things. And I think like we are in 2021, I think it's a little bit easier to differentiate between things, but it still opens doors for people to be unnecessarily mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know, like it's like, oh, this like super famous person made this like joke about like trans people, so like so can I. And
yeah.
I think that's why there's so much more controversy over it.
See, I think that's what my I think that's actually what my issue is. Because let me just put it like this.
Okay.
I find it interesting that nobody had any issue with Dave Chappelle for the Chappelle show.
Oh, there was a lot of issues with the Chappelle show.
No. Oh, there were. There most definitely were.
Yeah.
But
I was like, wait, what are you saying?
No. What I'm saying is there was no outrage, or maybe not even at the time. Now, let's talk about it like now.
When it was like brought back to like Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one had this issue with him when it came to jokes about Black people. No one had any issues with white people saying nigger. No one had any issues with the way things were depicted. No one had any issue with that. Okay. And that's when this whole uproar came up about the show in general, in terms of like the licensing issue, right? So that's within the context of this whole comedy thing, where with his stand-up specials, I think that was after the Sticks and Stones special, and I just find that interesting that which is also again Dave's point, we're outraged about certain things. We're not keeping that same energy for everything.
Yeah, there's not like a consistent there's just no consistency. It's like we have things where society is like outraged over like one specific thing for a while, and then that kind of dies down and something else takes its place and that dies down. It comes, so it's just this constant like back and forth on like oh, if you're gonna be upset, oh no.
What's
oh
up?
My god, no, it's fine. Sorry, I had a like it was a I thought the screen went, but it was my other window for some reason opened. I thought it closed out. I was like, not today. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. It's just like it's like, oh, you're gonna be upset about like this, but not this. And then like a few weeks later, it's like, oh, so you are upset about this, but what about that? It's just it's like a lot of like back and forth with how things are, and you know, it does tie back into.
But they're making it seem like he's not supporting. That's why I don't think that a lot of people even watched it. That's exactly why I don't believe that the people that are outraged actually sat down, watched it, and listened to what he was saying. Yeah, because he opened up saying, "Hey, we're jealous of you guys. You've got your shit together. Like,
you know who you are. Like,
you're like the LGBTQ community has their like leadership intact. They have marketing down well. They have intent with mission. So that's all there.
Yeah.
Guess what? We don't.
Yeah.
I still don't know who the hell the NAACP, like who they actually are. I don't know what they do. I just found out they're headquartered in Maryland, which I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? Like what are y'all doing? So that I think that's his whole point.
Yeah.
You guys have everything together. Much love and respect. I wish we could do the same thing. But he's saying, hey, look, this is where we as Black people, this is how we see things, where there's outrage and like immediate like punishment or whatever, or backlash, all that when it comes to the LGBTQ community for whatever reason, whether you're talking about jokes, whether you're talking about bigotry, whether you're talking about someone being excluded for however they identify, whatever it is, whatever that is.
But that same outrage doesn't exist.
It does not exist for us. Yeah. It doesn't. That's his point. That's his point. Okay. And guess what? Prime example, I everything that just happened with John Gruden.
The prime example, because I don't know who that is.
Okay, John Gruden was the coach for Las Vegas. And
he's the hold on. How do you spell his name?
Gruden.
Because he had a bunch of like emails where he was like saying a bunch of like homophobic slurs and all sorts of stuff like that. I saw that pop up the other day, but I don't know sports too well, so it didn't like, I didn't know what it was or who he was. But okay.
So he had an email that leaked first. First one that leaked was about calling the president of the NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith. They're talking about his lips and saying he's got rubber lips or lips that look like Michelin tires. And the press conference that happened with that, he was just like, hey, I call people rubber lips because they lie. I've said that before. And guess what? That was accepted. It was just like, okay, you know what? Cool. You don't even get suspended, let alone fired for something like that. But the very day that everything came out with him talking about homophobic slurs and all this other stuff, immediate
like
punishment.
Resigned and everything. Yeah because I'm looking at this, it's like these comments, it's like he made homophobic and misogynistic remarks following an earlier report of racist statements, and so then he resigned. Wow.
Yeah,
because I didn't even know about the racist remarks that he made. I had only read or seen the homophobic like slurs that he used. That's all I saw. So I absolutely am seeing like what your point is, and like how like these kind of comments almost get more of a backlash than like a racist comment.
Right. So that's the whole point of his stand-up special. That's the exact outrage that hit with that whole situation, with the emails. Rightfully so, by the way. I'm not saying that no one should have been mad about that, but can we at least get the same type of treatment? Can we get the same type of respect?
That same kind of like, hey, like maybe you shouldn't say that shit, or maybe you shouldn't do those things.
Right.
Like, so that makes.
And the thing about it is also, we are looked at as, hey, it happened. You know, they apologize, get over it. That's how it's presented to us. So if someone says the same thing to someone in the LGBTQ community, good luck.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And like that's just where that's how we are presented. That's how it comes across, where it's like, too bad, so sad, you know. And that, again, that's the whole point of his special. That's what he's getting at. So that's why, like, again, I don't believe that the people that are fully outraged by this, I don't think they actually watched it. I don't think they even care to understand where he was coming from. Yeah. I truly don't.
Because it's like I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had time to sit down and watch it yet. I want to watch it. it's just I'm constantly seeing all these articles keep popping up. So I was like, let's bring this up again because we had a pretty good talk about it the other day.
Yeah.
One of the newest like things that came up in connection to that is like Netflix talking about Hannah Gadsby. They're an Australian comedian,
Mhm.
and I'm not 100% sure what they identify as. Hold on. Lesbian. Do they say I don't know what they identify as. But they are lesbian, so probably she her pronouns. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just sorry. I'm reading the article and I'm like, wait, I don't think her thoughts on being okay, so she her, I think.
Mhm.
But she talks about she fantastic show. She has a show on Netflix, or a special on Netflix called Nanette. She has a couple actually. She's very funny. But me just trying to figure out what she identifies as, like Netflix is like, well, we have diverse people, like look at Hannah Gadsby's show,
Mhm.
like we're not against like trans people, da, 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 and like all this stuff. And so that came up and Hannah was like, on Twitter and Instagram, goes, hey Ted Sarandos, just a quick note to let you know that I would prefer if you didn't drag my name into your mess. Now I have to deal with even more of the hate and anger that Dave Chappelle's fans like to unleash on me every time Dave gets $20 million to process his emotionally stunted partial worldview. You didn't pay me nearly enough to deal with the real world consequences of the hate speech dog whistling you refuse to acknowledge, Ted. Fuck you and your admirable algorithm cult. I do shits with more backbone than you. That's just a joke. I definitely didn't cross a line because you just told the world that there isn't one. And there's just so much. And like we could
Mhm.
literally talk about this for
Oh yeah.
hours, but
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
this is one of those like uh oh my god, one of those situations that I think we're just going to keep seeing
Oh,
come up
this will
the next
never this will
yeah
never
for the next like few months anyway. I feel like it's going to be continuing to get high headlines.
yeah, yeah.
So
It is. Which I mean sucks, but at the same time, um, I think again, if actually people actually cared about how everyone felt,
mhm. The world wouldn't
things would be a
move.
little different.
Yeah.
Things would be a little different. And
And
I
like
honestly, I again, I don't believe that Dave Chappelle does not care. I think that again, when you're talking about comedians, I think
he doesn't care about what people think about him,
about him,
but
yeah,
I think he does care about like other groups of people. I think he's kind of
it's
like
obvious because he
he like
had a
does yeah,
friend.
he's like I care, like he's like I care about these people, but like he's like I also like don't give a shit about what they do. Like they can do whatever. And it's like it's that mindset that's like I don't like hate you, like also
Mhm.
like don't like I don't give a shit, like as long as what you're doing is like between consenting adults, like fuck it, I don't care, you know. I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of his like how he views that. um but goodness, we could literally talk about this forever, but I just there's just so much. And then like Netflix suspended one of their trans employees, but now that person has now been reinstated. I think like that was another thing that happened like this past week. I was like, with this whole thing that's going on, and it's a lot. um it's a lot that's going on with that.
It is a lot. And
um
again, I think if
People like
if people actually care to
I think
understand, I think
yeah
things would be different.
I think one of the things that happens a lot in society now is that people jump on bandwagons
Hmm.
and don't look into it. It's like you can kind of compare it to like anti-vaxxers, and people were talking about like, oh, there's all this stuff that's like in the vaccines, or like, oh, I did my research, and it's like, no you fucking didn't.
Yeah,
Like
if
you
people
didn't,
actually
you don't
did
know
their
what's in there.
research,
Yeah.
people
It's
would
like you
know.
didn't do research, you didn't write papers, you didn't get things peer reviewed, you Googled something and found an article that matched your views. So you had
Hmm.
that confirmation bias to prove, air quote, prove to yourself that you're correct, even though you're
Yeah.
not. And
I mean, it's either Google or Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
yeah.
Instagram, whatever.
Yeah. So it's like people are just kind of jumping on these things without actually looking into what's going on with them or like what's happening with them. And like somebody read an article that, sits with them, like sits well with them, when there's 50 other articles that are like contradicting what they think is right or correct. But then it's like, okay, but there's also like 50 other articles, and you scrolled through past every single one of them until you found the one that matched what you thought. Like you'll be able to do that. You can it's like a whole thing about confirmation bias. And so there's like a lot of that, I think, when it comes to these kinds of situations as well, because somebody will and I'm gonna be like frank, like I used to get kind of caught into that shit too. Like I like with this, like I still don't have like an opinion on his special because I haven't watched it. And all I know is what I'm seeing in like the media and seeing in what people are talking about and things like that. So like that's what I mainly have seen. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's a bad person, because I'm like, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen what he's talked about. Like I still don't know like what actually is being said. Sorry. And like what you're kind of explaining makes so much sense. And like him talking about how like the LGBTQ community has like their shit together, and like I like and how like the Black community like doesn't, like they're trying but they're not quite there, so there's like a jealousy there where that's kind of what you said that he's saying, right? Like basically he's saying like, hey, you guys have your shit together, like what the fuck. But like, and I get it too. Like I have friends that are in the LGBTQ community, and they like know themselves so well. And I don't fucking know shit about myself. I'm like still figuring out myself. And I think, well, you saying that, like, I'm like, oh shit, like that makes sense, and
yeah. But how about this? How about the Black people in the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, like,
so like I think
huge part of the fucking community. Like it's just,
if you're going to sit here and talk about this whole situation, it can't be from just the lens of what works for the white people in that community.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because there are Black people in the LGBTQ community that feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like, and whether they say it or not, they actually feel the same way.
And like it's like
because it's like only part of you is accepted, not all of you is accepted.
Yeah.
So I think that's where people have to honestly look at it and be like, you know what? I get it. But in order to actually get it, you got to be able to understand that where people are coming from. Like I can understand exactly where everybody from the LGBTQ community is coming from. I can completely understand it. Completely understand it. But the ones that are sitting here and offended by this special or the previous special that he put out, and they're labeling him transphobic, they're not listening. They're not actually watching. They're not paying attention to what he actually said, because he's been very consistent from special to special. He's been very consistent. So, I understand how it can come across as problematic. But again, that's when you look at sound bites or little clips.
Well,
and
and that's
those, and you just click that and run with it.
That's what so many people do. Like so many people will take like that like 2 seconds or that 5 seconds of something and just like put it on repeat over and over and over and be like, this is what they say every single day of their life. And it's like a comment somebody made, a few years ago. It's like it's back into that like cancel culture thing. It's like a whole thing that like we're just in such a weird time of society where like everybody just wants to like cancel everybody for like the tiniest thing. And it's like it doesn't make sense, because it's like it just doesn't make sense. And then there's like people like Shane Dawson made content on YouTube like 10 plus years ago that when people see it now, it's just like, oh shit, like that's, but it was that culture then. It was the shock culture. Like
Mhm.
you said shit to get
People
people to
completely
watch.
forgot about that. That's when social
Yeah.
media really started booming.
Yeah. And so like things have like been air quote like unearthed, and he got like super canceled.
What did he say?
And um it was just like, it was actually a bunch of stuff. It was like it was like some stuff that was like kind of racist. It was racist because he had created characters where he would be like stereotypes, like his characters. Like he has this one character, I don't remember the character's name, but it was like a stereotypical like ghetto black girl, and he's a fucking white dude, you know.
Mhm.
So like he had a character that uh and I think the character's name was like Shaniqua or something, like
See,
something like that, that was like super like, but it was that time when everybody was doing stuff like that. Everybody was creating these characters, and everybody was playing into like all of these different stereotypes.
Mhm.
But because he became like such a huge person on YouTube, like a huge YouTuber, he was one of like the OGs that like a ton of people knew, that like when he started to gain success again in the past like couple years, people unearthed all of these old videos, and they're like, hey, do you remember when you were a racist piece of shit? And it got to a point like he didn't do anything for like over a year, and um he just released like a new series, and it's and he like talked about how he was like, listen, like I was like 20 and stupid, and
yeah,
you
but
know,
that
so
has historical context. The
yeah.
minstrel shows. That's why I think if we're going to fully understand each other, you have to understand history.
Yeah. And I
You
think that's
have to
something
be
like,
willing to understand history.
and I think we talked about that before too, because like um when I was in school, like I am learning a lot of stuff
Mhm.
about like racism, systemic racism. I'm
Mhm.
learning a ton about people that I had never heard of,
Mhm.
that are huge integral parts of like the black communities that I wasn't taught when I was in school. You
Mhm.
know, like even the stuff like fucking the pilgrims,
Mhm.
you know, teaching the Native Americans how to like cook. It's like, no, they fucking genocided them, you know? And like I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know that, and we didn't learn that
Mhm.
until I was out of school. I was like an adult, and I am like, I lived in that ignorance
Mhm.
because of my white privilege and because of the American school system, just pretending that these things didn't happen. And you know, I think it's coming to light like with how easy information is for us to access.
Mhm.
Everybody's kind of like learning these things at the same time and being like, wow, shit, like we were ignorant to these things because we had the privileges to not have to personally feel those. But now that we're
Mhm.
learning about these things, now that we know that these things happen, Bowie, stop it, lay down. Now that we know that these things happened, we want to, you know, do better and be better and grow from that. And now that we understand that like maybe things that were said or things that we watched that we maybe thought were funny, you know, 15 years ago,
Mhm.
we're looking at now, and you're like, we're like, that's not okay, like that's not funny.
Mhm.
You know, I thought it was funny at the time because I didn't understand the context. And I think
Mhm.
people nowadays are starting to try to understand contexts, but obviously it's not
I don't
everybody.
I think there are more people that want to, but I think the majority just don't care,
Yeah,
to be
and I
completely
agree with
honest.
that. I think it's becoming, and I think that's why there's like that group of people that are, everybody's just so sensitive. And
Mhm.
it's like, no, we're just more aware of what hurts other people, and we don't
Mhm.
want to keep hurting other people because there's no fucking reason for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's where kind of like this comes into play too, where it's like these things that like are being said, that like there's a lot of context that needs to be taken into account,
Mhm.
and people aren't looking at that full picture. It's like the picture I think I showed last week with the numbers, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
6 and
yeah,
the 9. But
yeah,
so it's like
yeah.
it's a lot of that, and it's just there's
I
I just feel like this is a story that's going to come up a few times
This will
in the
not
next
go
like couple
away.
of minutes.
This is
Yeah,
not gonna go away.
it's I
It's
don't
gonna
think it's going to
continue.
go. I think it's going to be like I said, like for the next few months, I think it's going to be in headlines. I think it'll like die down for like a while, and then like randomly we'll get like an update on something that happened with everything,
Hmm.
you know, like probably at the beginning of next year.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just there's just like a lot to like unpack when it comes to like this situation, as well as just like a lot of that going on like in media and stuff now, and like how media is still trying to like marginalize people, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Because again, I don't hear the LGBTQ community coming out and talking about the Chappelle show. I just don't.
Hmm.
And they don't care about that. You see what I'm
It's
saying?
like,
They don't
yeah,
care. So
it's
like
like
if your
I think,
outrage is going to be outraged over him and his comedy, his material, his perspective, his rhetoric, if that's what your outrage is going to be about, be consistent.
yeah,
If you're consistent with it, I may still disagree with you, but I'll have more respect for it. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I do think too there's like a lot of people that go into these like outrages that have no right to be outraged, if that makes sense.
Some people just want to be
Like,
mad just to be mad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like also just like maybe somebody will do something that I'm trying to think of just like a general example. Um maybe like somebody, I'd say I saw like a TikTok and somebody was like saging their home,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of the comments are all of these like white people that are like, this is cultural appropriation, like this is like you can't do that,
White
blah
people
blah
are
blah blah,
saying
blah.
this is cultural
That,
appropriation.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
and that's what I was saying, and that's what I see a lot of.
That's
I see a lot
hilarious.
of that, and then somebody from the community is like, hey, like that person like got their sage from a Native American, you know, business that they have now promoted, like they are using it appropriately, like da 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 da, like it's okay. And then everybody's like, but it's not everybody, but like all these like other like um it's like almost like keyboard warriors are
Mm-hmm.
like, no, but it's not, because like they're white and they shouldn't be doing that. And it's like then the people that like are part of that community are like, but they're like using it appropriately, like they talked about how they like whatever, like they're like, no dude, like it's okay, you know. It's like, so it's like, and I'm not saying that that happens all the time, because it definitely doesn't happen all
Right.
the time. A lot of times like
Right.
people do use like appropriation like
Yeah.
incorrectly, but like, and then it goes into like how people like a lot of people are wearing like wigs nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more like white people like are wearing wigs,
Mm-hmm.
and um I see like, because like sometimes to get the wigs on well, you have to do those the braids
Lace. Yeah. Yeah.
in order to get it on well, for it to sit well. And
Yeah.
people are like, that's cultural appropriation, because they'll take like off the wig and they've got the braids on, they're like, look at them, they're doing like black braids. It's like, no, it's just, I'm putting a wig on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I wanted to have pink hair today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and like people, they're like, people in the comments like a black person will be in the comments and they'll be like, dude, like they laid that wig so fucking nice, like why are you bitching at them, like
Well, see, and here's the thing, like, yeah, I think there are a lot of people that just, you know,
they want to start something to
they
start
just want to
something. And I
start
think
something
that's
for
what a lot
sure.
of these things are. I think a lot of these like air quote journalists,
Yeah.
like I think we said this before, they see something and they're like, I can get clicks
Mm-hmm.
by really blowing this out of proportion. And then all of
Right.
these other journalists are like, oh shit, like they're getting a lot of information, like let's like dig and find like another single sentence that this person said that we can
Mm-hmm.
tie into this, so it becomes a
Mm-hmm.
big thing, and then it blows up and it becomes this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
But I will say, my last point, uh Dave's friend, I forgot her name, but his friend that came out to defend Dave after the Sticks and Stones special was trans and defended Dave for the special.
Mhm.
And people from the LGBTQ community attacked her.
Mhm. It's
And
like
she ultimately committed suicide.
because
So
of all of
there's
the
no, like, if you're going to be outraged, figure it out. Like, actually
Yeah.
think out what you're actually talking about and why you're upset. Because she didn't die or she didn't kill herself because of Dave. She killed herself
because of like
because
the bullying and the
you're attacking
harassment.
her on social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
And now there's a kid that doesn't have a parent anymore.
Yeah. It's
So
like
like at least be reasonable.
mhm.
Be reasonable. Understand what you're actually talking about, because
Yeah.
it's not just that.
Yeah, because there's still like in like I can't think of it. I'm not unproportional, but like maybe unproportional. That's not the word, but
Disproportionate.
Disproportionate maybe is the word. Um, Deaths for like trans women
Mhm.
and specifically Black trans women
Oh yeah.
in the
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
and it's talked about, and I see things for it from time to time, but in no
It doesn't get the same attention.
mass. Yeah,
It doesn't get
no,
the same
yeah,
attention.
which is
Or
wild
fight.
because there's more Black trans women being murdered
Mhm.
than like anybody else. Like
Yeah. It's
disproportionately, like
high.
Black people are being killed higher than anybody else anyway, and then
Mhm.
trans Black women are being killed even higher than that. And like that's not being outraged about. Like, why aren't these people that are so like heated about like this Netflix special, why aren't they just as heated about why
Because it doesn't fit their
society?
narrative.
Yeah, because it
Like,
doesn't fit their like
honestly, it just
prerogative.
does
Like,
not fit their narrative.
yeah,
And it does not have the same bite.
yeah, and that's like it's just
It's
we can just keep
ridiculous.
talking. We can keep
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
But you've got places to be. I've got a bed I need to lay in. This is just making that headache
Yeah.
come full circle.
Yeah.
It's
But I will say, just, hey, people, listen, we love you. And there's nothing but respect and support. But the things that you're pissed off about, please understand what you're talking about.
yeah. Look. Yeah.
Actually look for the context of what you're actually mad about, because you can take a snapshot of anybody. They can literally take a snapshot or like a clip
I
of
have a
whatever I said on this show.
I have a fear. I have a genuine fear because I kind of disassociate sometimes. Like
Mhm.
sometimes like I don't remember what we talked about or what I say until like we start recording again. It's
Mhm.
like almost like a separate universe for my brain.
Mhm.
And I constantly have this anxiety that I have said something that somebody's going to take a soundbite of and rip me apart. I mean, we're
Mhm.
not like famous or anything, so nobody's going to do that because like we don't matter yet. I mean, if you commented and shared and reviewed and rated our show, maybe we could matter more. But I have this like constant anxiety that like I'm going to say something and like if I listen back and be like, "Oh shit, like that didn't come off the way that like I thought it did or whatever, you know." So like take a second to really look into the people that you're tearing down because things can be taken out of context and people just
And
run with that.
this is not even applied to every single thing. Like, I want that to be completely clear. Like, people like Harvey Weinstein, Trump. Like,
I was just gonna say, I was like, every time I keep saying this, I was like, you need to look at the bigger picture, and then I'm thinking about Trump, and I'm like, honestly, like even the bigger picture is trash.
Yeah,
so
but you got
like,
I think like people have to like be willing to say, you know what, I was wrong about.
And people don't want to be
feeling.
wrong.
People don't want to be
People
wrong.
do not want to
So
be wrong.
it's where I'm at the point now where I'm not getting worked up over how other people feel.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to get worked up about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not going to disturb my peace that you don't do your work.
Yeah, and it's like you can put your thoughts out there and be like, hey, like these are my thoughts, like these are like the articles I read. You can go ahead and read them and get your own opinion, or you can continue doing what you're doing. And I'm not gonna waste my energy. I feel like we're at an age too where like we don't want to waste our energy
not at all. Not only stupid.
on stupid shit, or like things that like we know, like I have family members, like cousins and stuff, that are very like Trump and very like America, and I've tried.
I don't know why South Park just went through my head.
but I have those family members that, especially over like COVID, I have tried to talk to and try to like help them open up their minds and like see like why Trump is such a bad person, and be like, no, but he loves America, and they're just so stubborn and stuck in their ways, and they don't want to be wrong. And I don't talk to those people anymore. Like, these are family members that I've cut off, because it's like I cannot continue to waste my energy on someone who absolutely does not want to grow.
Yeah, and that's the key part about it. It's just,
it's like if you have a plant, you water it, like it'll grow, but if you overwater it, it's gonna fucking drown.
Yeah, you gotta take everything in moderation.
Yeah, so
I take people in moderation. So
I have like 3 friends. Like, I can't put out energy, like more energy. Like, when I was in high school, I wanted to have like all the friends, like you're like, I wanted to have those groups of friends that like 10 of us would all go out and just like hang out. And it's like, I have like 3 friends, and when we hang out, like, that takes a lot of energy, but I love them and I would hang out with them all the time. But like, it's just like, hey, like, let's hang out like once every couple weeks, because I don't have enough like mental capacity to like deal with people anymore.
Right.
Like and like working in retail, like I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with it anymore, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But like, also like I'm focusing on like my own mental health.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on, because it's already been like fucking like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Jesus. Because you have to leave soonish, don't you?
About an hour. Yeah.
About an hour. Okay.
So I think we got enough time to do our list and go through them. And
these other articles, super quick. That was just the Dave Chappelle was just like the I wanted to just talk about the quick updates, but we just kept going. It's fine. We could sit here and talk for hours about this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure I will see a clip flying around here at some point.
It'll come up again. I know it'll come up again.
Okay, the show.
So, oh,
there's gonna be a clip flying around at some point.
And like 5 years from now, I've got my Oscar, and somebody's like, "Remember that podcast you did where you said you didn't care about people?" Like, yeah.
And I was saying right now, what? In the same episode, go look at everything that's been put out.
Yeah, like talk about it. It's like
I'm not. We have already shown we love people.
It's like I was gonna say we know.
Not Trump supporters. I care about your well-being, but I don't have love for you. Yeah. At this point, no.
I agree. Yeah. There's like a specific like group of people that like don't
but for the majority
love or support, or
for the majority.
But primarily majority, everybody, we love you. We are a safe space. You can message us, like, it's fine. Like, if you're stressed about something, like, and you just want to bitch about it, send it to the DMs. Like, we will bitch with you, because that is life. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about, Superman. There's 2 little Superman things. So Superman's motto is getting a modern update: truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Originally it was truth, justice, and the American way. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it was Truth,
To be
Justice,
completely
and the
honest, I didn't know
American
that.
Way. Yeah. I didn't either until I saw this. It was like, gets an update. And I was like, what? Because I was specifically looking for John Kent, the new Superman
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
article, and then this one popped up. So I'll talk about that in a second. But I guess because of like when Superman came out, it was during the war. So it was like Superman can be all about America. Like, so let's make him all about America. And so that's what
As
they
if
did.
we
And
didn't have
like,
Captain America.
yeah, right. And the main change in the phrase, the catchphrase, the phrase actually goes back to Superman's transition to radio in the 1940s and TV in the 1950s. So it made the radio show made its debut during World War II. We were all fighting for the American way. Why shouldn't Superman? So that's why I changed it to that. They have used this saying a few other times, but I think it's official now that
That's interesting because I didn't even know
a
that was
better a better
didn't know that.
tomorrow, which I mean makes more sense because Superman's a freaking alien. It's not like he's like specifically for
He's
America.
not even American. Like,
yeah, people are like Superman's American. He's not. He's literally from another fucking planet. Like, what do you mean? Like, just because he could have landed in Russia. Like, what the fuck?
yeah.
But yeah, so the new Superman motto is truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, which I like. Because honestly, America's not that great.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's like we learn in school that America's the best country in the world, and it's not. Like we have a lot of like freedoms, but like how much of it
great
is
qualities.
Yeah.
As I think,
but there's also a lot of red flags.
Great qualities, but yeah, there are a ton of flags.
Yeah.
So
staying on Superman, the new Superman comic, in the upcoming comic, the new Superman comes out as bisexual. Everybody was like, Superman's not gay, blah, 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 blah. But it's like it's Superman's son. It's John, so it's not Clark Kent. It's 2021. Like,
yeah, but okay, so I don't have a problem with him being bisexual, but let me just throw this out there, okay? I find it weird that anybody, however you identify, is having sex with an alien.
Wait, what?
Superman has all this strength, right?
Yeah.
He has sex with a human being. How, like, I'm just thinking about it logically. Like, how does he not kill this woman in the beginning?
Restraint?
That's not a moment of restraint.
I don't know.
So then we talking about his son, being bisexual, cool, but I still have the same issue. Like, it's just like how, like, that part of it to me doesn't make any sense of a human and an alien.
Yeah,
that's where I nobody's addressed that part. I don't care about the sexuality.
But, I mean, I
don't care about sexuality for comic book heroes in general, to be honest.
It's like when you have like demigods, which are like human gods hybrids. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? But there's so many demigods out there, and there's so many like hybrids. So it's like it's a fucking comic. Like, let it be.
It is, but that is hard for me to let go. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking about like, same thing with Thor.
Like, I was gonna say like, you think about like the Marvel universe, and you think of like Gamora, and
like it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, a human having sex with an alien, I don't care.
Because it's like, is there like anatomy as well as just like physiology?
That's
like all of that like the same or similar? Is it similar? It's got to be similar enough, but I guess maybe you can like compare it to like a dog and a coyote.
I'm sorry, what?
Like dog, or like a dog and a wolf. Like, they are of the same like subspecies.
Okay.
Or same species, but they're like different subspecies. And they can still mate together, like a horse and a donkey.
I had no clue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus
so it's
Christ.
so if you look at those kind of
Wow.
things, so then it's like a horse and a donkey.
Well, that does a horse
or
and a
like
donkey. I'm
or
sorry,
like
that doesn't even.
or a horse
I
and a
don't see
zebra.
how that works.
A horse and a zebra can do it too because they have
Yeah.
like their like DNAs are close enough that they can procreate. I don't believe
This is starting to make me nauseous.
because then you get like you get mules, and mules
Yeah.
are not mules can't procreate. Like you can't have a girl and a guy mule have a baby because I think because of the way the DNA was, like it doesn't work. And then lions and tigers,
A
because
liger.
they're a liger, but ligers
Yeah.
are, I think ligers are sterile as well. I don't think that they can have children. I have to look that up, but I think that they are also unable to procreate. But I mean, like a coyote and a dog can have puppies, and I think those puppies can have puppies.
Jesus Christ.
So it's weird. Like, and that's the thing is like you think about it, like if you think about it like that, like here on Earth, we have these like subspecies of things. So like these aliens, how like could potentially have been like come from like the same shit that we came from, and
Not having that type of strength though. That
well, no,
the strength,
that's what I mean.
the strength
that's
of Superman and Thor that's otherworldly.
And,
so I don't.
and that's what I'm saying.
Moment,
like there's different like we are of like the same like subspecies of a general species that spread throughout the universe.
Okay,
and
so I can see that theory. I can see that theory.
See?
But I'm thinking about it.
I feel like your brain is just melting right now.
It's hard for me to compute this real quick because I'm thinking about it.
You learned a lot of information real quick.
That too, but I'm looking at it from a specific perspective as a man.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, I don't know how there's no restraint. I'm sorry. So when you're talking about someone that like Superman or Thor that is like that strong,
mm-hmm.
How do you not crack or kill someone in that moment? That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. In a moment of excitement, how do you not die? I would be scared. I would, on the receiving end, how could you not be afraid? You see, now your brain is doing what mine is doing. Like
because I'm like
it's difficult. It's difficult to think about.
It's like
I'm a very literal
It's
person.
like
for
the
me,
thrill of it makes it. I don't know.
I'm not that much of a thrill seeker.
I don't know. People are into some weird. People are into some weird things.
Yeah, I'm not willing to die for a muscle cramp. I'm sorry.
But okay, so yeah, so John, Kent, Clark and Kent and Lane's child,
yes,
is gay or not gay, bisexual, and not everybody, but I mean a lot of people are like, why? And it's like, he's the kid, like
he's the kid. Yeah, he's half human, half Kryptonian.
Alien. Yeah, I was like, where the hell is he from?
So maybe his human side kicks in with the restraint at that point.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe
maybe the fact one strong woman.
Well, I mean, also like maybe the fact that Superman is an alien, maybe like his like brain like is able to like chill a little bit more than like a human brain, because humans just go into like animalisticness and just fucking forget that
this dude gets weak from a rock.
Yeah, but it's a specific
I don't know.
rock.
Maybe okay. Maybe there's a
maybe Lane's just, I was gonna say maybe Lane's just got like a necklace with a little kryptonite pendant, so that it just brings him down.
It's probably too close. You probably have to put it in the corner of the room.
Like a salt lamp.
Yeah. Just put it in the corner of the room, the kryptonite lamp.
So he's like still good and he can like still get the job done, but like but like
he can still perform, but at not full capacity. Maybe that's
Jesus
it. All right.
Christ. So, why are we talking about this? Anyway, next article.
I'm too literal. I'm sorry.
Listen. Next article. Let's. That's a conversation for like a comic book podcast. That
it is.
Things. I'm gonna close this article out real quick so we can stop talking about it. Okay.
Oh God.
Last thing I wanted to chat about really quick is legendary freaking Michael Caine has said that he's kind of retiring, like he's done with movies for now. But then he says he's not retiring, but he's not making movies anymore. And
That doesn't
so
make any bit of sense.
yeah,
He said that all
so
in one sentence.
pretty much. So basically what he's talking about is that he um is retiring from film, like from making movies. Because he goes, regarding retirement, I've spent over 50 years getting up at 6 a.m. to make movies, and I'm not getting rid of my alarm clock.
Yeah.
So he's like, I've been doing that. Sorry, my alarm was going off. That's funny that happened right when I was talking about an alarm clock. Synchronicities, hey. But he also talks about how he's written a couple of books that have been successful. He hasn't worked for 2 years because he has a spine problem, so it affects his legs, so he can't really walk very well anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he says I also wrote a couple of books which were published and were successful. So I'm now not an actor, I'm a writer. So maybe he will write movies, but he just won't be acting in them anymore.
Interesting
And
time
then
for a career change.
Yeah, I mean he's 88, I think. He's
Yeah,
definitely
he's up
much older gentleman. Hold on, let me see. They put his age in here earlier.
I mean, good for him though, right?
Yeah, 88. He's 88 years old. And if anybody listening doesn't know who Michael Caine is, you know who Michael Caine is. You know his face. He plays Alfred in like The Dark Knight. He plays he's in Now You See Me. He plays just kidding. Now You See Me 3 is coming out. Bitch. I loved those movies. They just announced a third one. The third installment of Now You See Me. Plot is undisclosed, but Dave Franco and Michael Caine are in there as the cast. Okay, I'm excited. I don't know when that was announced.
His last film, though.
Yeah, and then The Great Escape in pre-production, and then Medieval is in post-production. That says 2022. Okay. But yeah, so he's in isn't he like he's in like Charlie's Angels, I think, as well. So he's in the Now You See Me movies as like the old man. Kingsman, The Secret Service, he's in those movies. The Dark Knight Rises.
He's pretty much like Morgan Freeman. He's like
he's like the white Morgan Freeman. Yeah. Like they're the old dudes that have been around forever, doing everything forever. Yeah. He's in Miss Congeniality. He's in Austin Powers.
Very funny dude.
God, he's great. I would love to work with him. He's one of those actors that I was always like, damn, like he'd be cool to work with.
Yeah.
I'm just like going down his like filmography list, and he's just in like so much. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, writing, that's a great thing to get into.
And
still
especially
that's
yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of stuff to talk about anyways.
Oh, so absolutely.
Why not?
You know, it's like for him too, like especially because he is having trouble with like walking and stuff. Like you can sit and you can write all day.
Yep.
God, he's been working since 1946. 1946, he did a TV movie.
That's
1956.
That's like 60 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's had 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. We're at like almost like 70 years. When was he born? Let me see when he was. He's an old man. He was born in like the 20s, right? 1933. 1933.
That's a long time.
So he was 13 when his like first thing that's on his IMDb.
He has to be like almost getting to 80 years of being in the industry. That's a long time.
So he's had a career. So he's had a career. All right. So that's it for the news articles. Do you want to jump into our movies? Do we
Yeah.
want to take a break?
Let's take a
and
quick
then
break and then we'll get right into our top 5 horror films.
5-ish.
5-ish.
Real-ish.
Real-ish, 5-ish. On All right, we'll catch you in a minute.
Hi, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. My name is Jessica Lemon, and I am the host of Sour, Sweet, and Spooky, a paranormal podcast with a little true crime squeezed in. Because where there's paranormal activity, there's gotta be some kind of true crime involved, right? I talk about ghosts, aliens, murder, cryptids, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and more. Stories from all over the world for you to enjoy every week. So check me out on social media at Sour Sweet Spooky and pretty much every platform that podcasts are found. And be ready for a brand new story. Oh, and remember, stay sour, stay sweet, stay spooky.
Okay, so top 5 horror movies. I have like 15 written here because I kind of have like subcategories. It's because I have like subcategories on like horror movies, like scary movies that like are genuinely scary. Then I have like a few that are like scary movies, but also kind of like a satire scary, if that makes sense.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Like it's supposed to be kind of silly, but it's still like kind of a scary movie.
Okay.
And then a couple that are more like psychologically scary, you know.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a whole library over there.
I do.
Yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I just watched Halloween Kills. And it was pretty good. So if anybody
Yeah, but that's not scary. See, I think that's
no,
one thing
there's so much murder in it.
Murder doesn't mean it's scary. I think that to me is why I get confused with the horror genre in general, because
It's such a vast genre.
Like it can be scary adjacent, right? But it's not actually like jumping out my seat type of horror.
Well, that's the type
of horror I'm talking about.
That's why I like have this like this, because it's like some of these are more like creepy, but not really like a jump scare or anything. And then some of them are like a psychological, like your brain is like, what the fuck? Like at the end of the movie, you're like, holy shit, you know?
So give me the top 5 then.
So I have these. Yeah, so these are 5. So I have The Uninvited.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No. I know exactly what it is, but I never watched it.
Okay.
I think we talked about this film.
I think so. Yeah, because I didn't want to tell you about it because I told you to watch it because there's like a twist in it.
I still haven't watched
it. It's a twist that's been done before, but like they do it well. The Nun.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was like the first movie to make me feel genuinely unsettled in a really long time. As Above, So Below. Fucking love that movie. So good. Have you seen that?
Never even heard of it.
Oh my god. It's these like this like I think she's like an archaeologist or something like that, and she goes into the catacombs, the Paris catacombs, which are said to be like really fucking creepy. And so basically they kind of go through like the levels of hell in the catacombs, and there's all this weird shit going on, and like people like go missing and people die, and you know, like it's fucking crazy. It's really good. I've watched that. I'm not a huge like when I have like horror movies or scary movies, I don't really watch them like more than once, maybe twice. If like somebody's like, oh, like we're gonna watch a scary movie, I'm like, oh, okay, let's watch this one. But like I've watched this movie like just to watch it like a bunch of times. That's probably like my favorite scary movie, like favorite horror movie, As Above, So Below. So good. And it's almost like it's kind of like a found footage type of movie. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I also have Train to Busan, which is
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Really, really good. I think there's a second one coming out, like a sequel. Unless it's already out. I have to check, but that was really, really good. I very much enjoyed that. It's a foreign film, but it's so well done, so good. And then recently, Ouija.
Oh,
however you say
hell
it.
no.
And that came out a few years ago. We watched that the other day, and
Anything with a Ouija board, I ain't fucking with.
So this one is like, this movie is, I jumped a bunch of times. I was unsettled a bunch of times. There's like possession in it, all sorts of shit, and it was just ugh.
Yes, I can't mess with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I grew up in the church, as I told you. So
yeah.
My
I mean,
exposure to horror films that didn't happen until a lot later.
Yeah.
So I still have some I need to catch up on, but some I will never.
Classics.
There's some I will never watch.
Like what?
What you were just talking about? Luigi?
Yeah.
There ain't no way in hell.
Dude, it's very well done. I think I feel like they did a really good job with that one because like it's very like unsettling.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, and then I have a few other ones. The Hunt is more of like a psychological thriller type of movie, but it's still kind of like scary. I very much like that. That came out like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I have for like not like super like seriously scary, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Fucking great movie. It's so bad. Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks is a good one, a good classic. Arachnophobia, I remember watching that when I was a kid with my dad, and I hated it, but like it scared the shit out of me, and I think made me like dislike spiders the way I dislike spiders.
Yeah, my dad had that poster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I never watched it. I never got to see it.
Yeah, it's I haven't watched it in a while, but when I think of like scary movies and like creepy movies, that one always pops up. Tremors. I fucking love Tremors. It's not really a scary movie, but it's like it's got those creatures.
Yeah, that one was there.
I fucking love the whole series. Is great. The first one is the best. Yeah, there's like 6 movies now. The first one's really good. First one's really, really, really good. And then I think there is like 6 or 7. There's a lot of them now, and they get very weird. But the first one's great. The second one's all right, and then it kind of gets weird from there. But they're good. They're creepy sometimes, but the first one's wonderful. It's a classic film for me. I will watch that all the time. And there was a show, they tried to make it a show, but it didn't get picked up, and I'm really sad because like I would have loved to have the show because it had like Kevin Bacon in it, like it had the original cast. I was like, ooh,
Kevin Bacon is phenomenal.
Yeah, so phenomenal. And then a few other ones that I have. The Covenant. I remember that one. I very much liked that movie. Coraline, it's creepy as shit. Pan's Labyrinth, probably Pan's Labyrinth is one of my all-time favorite movies.
With Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro's film. It's like it's not like a horror movie, but it's like
I loved
creepy.
I loved it. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, like so that's why this is like a subcategory because it's not like a classic horror movie, but it's still kind of like creepy.
Okay.
Same with Coraline. Coraline's not like a horror movie, but it's like creepy as shit. Okay. You know. Zombieland, just because it's fun. It's like a funny horror movie.
I still have to watch. No, I did. Ooh. I did watch that.
Yeah, Zombieland 1 and 2. They're both.
Yeah, they're both. I don't remember it all though.
No, they're both really good. Bowie, lay down, please. Lay down, Bubba. I Am Legend. Great fucking movie.
That was good.
Yeah,
good.
And then I was
surprised that the black man was the last man standing
though. And then The Mummy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because it's like it's like not like a horror movie, but it's like still kind of like it can be seen as like a scary movie.
I could see where you're coming from.
You know.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. You kind of made me have to rethink how I was doing this, but okay. So
yeah, but that makes it like that's why I had to write down so many because I'm like there's so many movies that I love that are like creepy, scary movies, but like not necessarily like horror films, but still like creepy, scary. So that's why I had these like kind of like subcategories, because like some of them are like funny, scary, some of them are like more like satire, some are like actually fucking creepy. So like the first ones that I said, those ones creep me out. Love them, creep me out.
Okay. I okay. So
okay, so what are yours? Because
again, I didn't get into horror films until I was a little older. So my list is completely different than what yours is.
Oh, I should probably also throw The Exorcist in there at some point, just because that was like the first horror movie I watched when I was like 3 or 4, because my dad and my sister were watching it.
I think no, I just watched that recently, but it wasn't scary.
I just remember it being scary because I was a baby.
Yeah,
I was very small.
I can.
So
yeah,
and like movies from that like era, like just like classic movies, like The Shining, any of like the Friday the 13th movies, any of the Halloween movies, like those are all like those are just classic horror, and I like didn't want to just like throw classic horror into
horror is its own genre, like
exactly.
I don't.
So that's like another subcategory. You know,
those are the pinnacle films. Yeah, those are the ones you kind of look at just for nostalgia and stuff.
Yeah.
Movies that freaked me the hell out.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity.
Oh, that's a good one. I almost wrote that down. I almost wrote that one down. The first one, they get weird after that.
Well, okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, okay.
That's actually my order. Okay.
Okay.
That I mean, I don't want to really put it in order, but those 3 I have in my top 5. The second one specifically scared the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because what was his name? Toby, right?
Yeah, the kid, right?
No, the demon or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He drugged someone down the stairs.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about
into
that
the basement. And there's in my parents' house, there's a door that, had they selected a basement, would have been the basement door. I legit refused to walk past that door for like a solid month.
Even though there's no stairs?
There's no stairs. Yeah, it did not matter to me. It's how, because the movie, it was like they brought, I forget who it was. I think it was one of the it was like the mom or something like that. Toby drug her down the stairs, slid her around the room, and took her down into the basement, and the door shuts. I legit did not walk past that door for at least a solid month. I refused. So 1, 2, 3, because the third one legit, I was watching on my computer, on my MacBook, and I'm on my bed, and the very last scene, they're in this house walking to the backyard, and they turn around, and this lady just come running out. I slammed my MacBook. I slammed that thing. I closed so fast. I jumped up out my bed. I said, "Hell no, nah, man, nah." So that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, those movies are good. And then you have like 4 and 5, and those ones just got weird. But like
4, I think 4 was the one when they went to Mexico. Is that it? Where, if I'm not mistaken, it was 4 or 5 that went to Mexico.
5 is the alien one.
Okay, I didn't watch any of those. Once they brought the Ouija board into it, I stopped. I'm good.
They made so much money. Those
a lot of money. I mean, the first film only, I think the budget for that
their
film
budget was like less than
it was like
less than 20 grand, because they filmed in the director's house. Like,
and it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. So I have those 3. The Ring scared the living hell out of me.
The Ring, yeah, that's a good one.
And then the Conjuring.
The Conjuring, like the whole franchise.
I'm just gonna say the first one. I don't even know if I saw it. I didn't see the second one.
There's so many movies. There's so many movies in the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
And they're all so good, because you've got all the Annabelle movies. A couple of those ones are weird, but like Annabelle is part of the Conjuring universe. You've got Devil Made Me Do It, which just recently came out. That one. Oh yeah, really
I'm not watching that. I did watch the second one, but that's it. I'm good.
Well, and Devil Made Me Do It. Fun fact: my old acting teacher. I think I said this before. One of my old acting teachers in Florida in St. Pete, Eugenie. She plays like the creepy like lady in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. She's great. She was in the Hunger Games as well. She plays Tigress
Okay.
in the Hunger Games because
Okay.
she's very like distinct looking. She's very much like a character person because she's very tall and very thin. And so she can play those kind of like eerie characters or those like different kind of like characters
Yeah.
really well. And she's great. She's so great. She's probably like one of the sweetest human beings on this planet.
See, that's interesting because I like
for her to play this like evil character, it's like what?
Yeah. See, I wouldn't be able to trust her.
Yeah, because she plays like a witch in it.
I wouldn't be able to trust
her. She's literally the one of the nicest people on the planet, and like I'm really really proud of her and like excited for her because I think this opened up her career like even more, which is so cool.
Yeah.
It helps too because what's his name? Paul Wilson. He's the main guy, right? He plays what's his name?
The husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I literally know
I don't
these
know
people.
his character's name.
Oh, I'm upset because I just listened to a podcast where they talk about oh my god, it is the oh my god. It's the married couple Ed and Lorraine Warren. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He plays Patrick Wilson, and Paul is his brother. He's like a he does like news stuff in Tampa. I'm like friends with him on Facebook. Which is so weird. It's what is it, it's funny that we mentioned Kevin Bacon because it's like the like 5 degrees to heaven bacon or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like in life it's like the few degrees to like Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
No, but so honorable mentions.
Yes.
Get Out.
So good.
It's really good, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. Dude, did you watch Candyman?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
I haven't watched it either. We should watch that.
About it. Yeah.
I don't know what it's available on, if it's in theaters or not, but
I think it's on demand right now.
I
completely forgot about Candyman.
Yeah, if it's streaming anywhere, we should watch it because it's another fucking Jordan Peele film, and he's so good. He does
amazing.
horror so well, which is so
amazing.
funny because he started with Key and Peele, where he's just funny as shit. Like So he's funny as shit and he can be scary as shit, and I am intimidated by him.
I mean, so Get Out for me as a black man is what just got me. I was just like, my God, bro, there's no way in hell. The new It, that the old one, the original, I watched it. I was just like, there's nothing about this.
That's another one of the I enjoyed those. It's like a Stephen King. My dad is obsessed with Stephen
I'm not
King.
into
So I remember
Stephen
watching it when I was younger. So I'm used to like the old Pennywise. But I love Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
Good.
Now the second one was trash. I didn't like that.
Oh, I liked it. The first one was better. The first one was significantly better. One amazing. The second one I did like still. But I see what you mean.
But yeah, I didn't like the second one at all. That one was just trash.
It definitely got weird, but it still tied into like what it is.
Oh yeah, it did. But I could have done without that. I thought it actually took away from the allure of the first one and the aspects of it that actually made it scary. This one felt more comical. And I
enjoyed it. I like those movies a lot.
Yeah, and Final Destination as well. That's what I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Final Destination, that made me afraid of roller coasters and airplanes.
That made me afraid of driving behind like anything on the highway that has like anything on the back of it.
Oh yeah, especially like those wood.
Or like people have like ladders in the back of their trucks.
I don't
Like,
drive
I'm like,
behind people like that either.
I'm like, I'm gonna get out of this lane.
Yeah, I don't drive that. I don't
Like,
watch that either. I don't do that either.
Has like scarred our generation.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Like
we don't drive.
we
behind
all
people
have
anymore.
these like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because creepy. Yeah, no. Yeah, those are good picks. Those are like good, like classic, like just like horror, creepy, unsettling movies. The Saw movies are fucking gross. I hate
They're
them.
gross, but like it was only good up until like 5, and then
I didn't even watch. I only watched like the first couple of them.
maybe 4.
But like I hate those movies. Like not because they're like too gory or anything. Like I watched like Halloween, and he literally bashes people's faces in with like a pickaxe. Like
Yeah,
like that's fine. Like that's just that
fine.
thing. But like not fine. Obviously it's not fine. But I can deal with that. I
Yeah.
can deal with gore stuff. But for
Yeah.
some reason, like the Saw movies and the what are the other movies that came out that were kind of like Saw? I think it starts with like an S or something. Where's the Saw movies and the
I'm not sure. Well, Spiral is based off Saw. I still haven't watched that one.
Yeah, so I haven't either. What the heck? There's the Saw movies, and then there's the Lubber are they called? It's gonna bug me. Somebody's listening to this and they're like screaming like what it is. I can't remember. I'll think about it probably for like next week's episode and be like, it was these. But those movies, they're just so gross that like
Yeah.
ugh.
Disturbing as hell.
Yeah.
Disturbing as hell.
But yeah, so those are my movies that I picked. That was more than 5.
That's hilarious too. I mean, I get where you're coming from though, because you actually kind of made me pivot a little bit.
Like made you think a little bit more like about like because there's
yeah.
so many good like horror films out there that it's like.
But that's the thing. I think again, like the understanding of what's actually horror and just thriller. I don't like
Maybe we
putting
can talk about
thriller into horror.
Yeah, like maybe we can talk about that like next week. Like I can look into like the differences between like horror, thriller, suspense.
Yeah.
And like why they're like, are they subcategories of
More
like
so,
the horror
yeah.
genre?
Yeah.
Like are they all horror, but there's just the subcategories of it that like
because you have thriller and suspense in horror films.
Because then you
but
have action thriller
those,
and
you can't consider those horror films.
Yeah.
I think of horror, I'm like scare the hell out of me. That's what I expect. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up now. But
you got places to be.
Yeah. But we will we'll be back with another episode next week for you guys. So go ahead and give them your handles real quick, Jessica.
So my stuff is all at Jessica Lemon with 2 L's. Instagram, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but like it's all that. TikTok, I'm gonna probably do some like TikTok stuff soon. It's just Jessica Lemon. Yeah, because I'm auditioning for a voiceover, and the voiceover auditions are through TikTok, so I'll be posting there. I'll probably just put more like acting stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
On there, and then Sour, Sweet, and Spooky. My 13 Days of Halloween starts tomorrow.
Nice.
Very excited.
Nice.
I'm finishing up the first episode today, so I'm excited because we're gonna get that out tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on the day we release it, that means that there's also a new episode of Sour, Sweet, and Spooky.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to kind of be back in on that because it's been a minute. So yeah, and then. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all my stuff. I still don't have my new show yet. I think I'm going to do that when I come back from Florida because I'm going to be out of town next week.
Okay. Yeah.
I think when I come back from my trip, I'm going to start my new show.
Nice. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
So you can find me at Derrick_OTS. That's DERRICK. But please follow the brand more so than me. OTS Media Co. All social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. otsmediacode.com. Go to the website, look at all our articles and show descriptions and profiles. And we're still, I still got to update to put Jessica and some other new people that are on board now on there. But please go support, rate and review the show and other shows. But please rate and review Realish so we can know, what you guys
how
think.
We're doing.
Yeah, let us know how what you think about the show, or what you would like to see us review, and whatever the topics you want us to discuss. We'll get into it. So please leave that. Let us know what you do. Give us a 5-star review if you think we deserve a 5-star review. And
Pretty please.
Yeah, help us out. Help a brother out. All right, guys. We'll catch y'all next week.
Bye.